A hardened war veteran named Andre has survived brutal battlefields and finally decides it is time to return to his homeland. He travels a long way on foot, from Laos all the way to Moscow, moving quietly from place to place. While passing through a small town, he unknowingly breaks a strange, unwritten rule there. You can ask questions, but you must never answer them. Two low-ranking policemen stop him and ask for his documents. When one of them checks his belongings, he notices something under Andre's leather jacket and grows suspicious. Andre calmly opens his jacket and reveals a knife. The two officers immediately panic. Even though Andre explains that he has a permit to carry it, they still force him to hand it over. After a closer look, they realize it is a kukri, the distinctive curved knife used by Nepalese soldiers. Without further discussion, they slap handcuffs on him. Once they are sure no one is around, one of the policemen hits Andre with a baton. To their surprise, Andre reacts with incredible reflexes and dodges the blow. Suddenly, the fat officer smashes his back with the baton. Strangely, Andre does not complain at all. He only looks at them with a cold, piercing stare, and neither of them realizes that their actions are about to bring disaster. At the police station, Andre's belongings are confiscated and he is handcuffed again. It may be called a police station, but the atmosphere is closer to a bandit's hideout. The officers there routinely cause trouble, shake down civilians under the excuse of selling protection, and share the money with their subordinates. A captain named Kapitan Stebakov walks into the cell and demands to know why Andre stays silent. Andre says nothing. Annoyed, Kapitan Stebakov starts beating him with a baton until a faint groan slips out. The more stubbornly Andre endures the blows, the more vicious the captain becomes. He presses the baton against Andre's face and screams at him to answer, but Andre only stares back with a look of contempt. Feeling challenged, Kapitan Stebakov grows even more brutal. He hits him again and again, then pulls out an electric baton. This time, Andre fights back. He lunges forward, kicks the captain's leg, and sends him crashing to the floor. Kapitan Stebakov tries to get up, but several other officers rush in and break up the fight. Without realizing it, the captain has just put his own life in serious danger. The police quickly call the deputy director, Major Lavrov. When he sees the sharp kukri knife, he asks why Andre was carrying it. Calmly, Andre gives a single word as his answer: enemy. The reply is taken as a joke, and they laugh it off. Soon after, the Police Chief Mikhailovich, arrives. Among them all, he is the only one who still seems to have any common sense. He orders the handcuffs removed and checks Andre's identification. The mood in the room changes in an instant when they see his full name: Andrei Shamanov, a major in the Special Forces. All at once, the officers who had been torturing him began to regret ever laying a hand on him, and in that moment, they finally understood. This is Flint. Police Chief Mikhailovich quickly returns Andre's belongings, and for a moment, everything seems to settle down. But then the chief makes a fatal mistake. He turns on the music from Andre's MP3 player, a small device that means far more to Andre than anyone there realizes. Andre steps out of the room and crosses paths with a young woman who looks strangely familiar. Only after leaving the station gates does he notice that his MP3 player is missing. It is something he treasures, a companion through some of his darkest moments. He heads back inside only to find the chief cornering the same young woman. She is terrified. Andre tries to stay calm as he picks up his MP3 player and winds the cable, acting as if he has not yet decided what to do. But when the chief steps closer to the girl, Andre snaps the player between his fingers and turns around. In an instant, he strikes the chief's head with it, dropping him to the floor. Without hesitation, Andre grabs an ashtray, rips out a phone cable, pockets a lighter, and pulls the girl out of the room. He walks as calmly as possible, as if nothing is happening. When another officer tries to enter, the ashtray flies straight at his head. The station erupts into panic as the officers realize Andre is armed with nothing more than a phone cable. They pull their pistols, but he uses simple and precise moves to take them down one by one. The girl is stunned. She never imagined a soldier could dismantle trained police officers that effortlessly. Before leaving, Andre even disassembles every weapon in the room, then guides her toward the exit. But they accidentally walk straight into a bathroom filled with more corrupt officers. Andre quickly shoves the girl to safety and charges forward, taking them out with practiced efficiency. He grabs her again and moves down the stairs, where they run into Major Lavrov. The major barely has time to react before Andre drops him with 3 swift motions. At this point, it is clear, if Andre uses his combat training, no ordinary officer stands a chance. Outside, he even pauses long enough to light a cigarette for a frightened policeman, using the chief's own lighter. Meanwhile, the girl trembles, her eyes full of fear and guilt. She realizes her situation has dragged Andre into something far more dangerous. If he is caught, he will be tortured without mercy. She begs him to leave her and escape. But Kapitan Stebakov, the officer Andre fought earlier, has regained consciousness. Fueled by humiliation and anger, he orders his men to hunt Andre down. The girl wants him to run, but police vehicles are already speeding after them. Andre has no choice but to push harder. The officers fire wildly, bullets tearing through the air. But Andre maneuvers with skill and forces a sharp turn into a narrow side road. Every shot misses. He then speeds down a slope on his motorcycle, launches into the air, and sprints toward a bulldozer. Stebakov empties his rifle and switches to a weapon, but nothing hits its mark. As Stebakov tries to escape with his car, Andre slams the bulldozer into the front of the vehicle. Stebakov orders the driver to reverse, but a truck rams the car from behind. The vehicle is trapped, crushed, and finally bursts into flames. The police station erupts into chaos as the officers finally realize who they have been fighting. Their leader, Colonel Vasilyev, is shaken to the core. The man they provoked is not some random drifter. He is a maroon beret, a special forces soldier who once handled high-level covert missions and earned multiple national service medals for bravery. And now this same man is loose in the mountains, fully aware that the police will never stop chasing him. If they insist on turning this into a war, he is more than ready to see it through. What Colonel Vasilyev does not understand is that his decisions have pushed his entire unit straight toward disaster. This is where we see what happens when a single Special Forces veteran takes on an entire police department using nothing but battlefield tricks and improvised tools. Deep in the forest, Andre reaches a rundown area and immediately gets to work. He scavenges whatever he can find: a box of matches, old electrical wiring, rusty nails, pieces of wood. Meanwhile, the police complain about camping in the rain as they continue their hunt, unaware that Andre is building weapons designed to tear them apart. He lashes the nails to the end of a wooden pole, tightens the wiring, and burns it so it hardens in place. It becomes a crude but deadly trident, and he sets traps with it throughout the area. He does not stop there. Andre discovers a small wooden hut, searches every corner, and gathers anything useful, including a metal plate and a hidden passageway. Once the traps are in place, he sits quietly, turns on his MP3 player, and waits for his enemies to walk right into his hands. That night, two overconfident officers, warmed by brandy and hungry for glory, decide to move on their own. They hope to use the darkness to ambush Andre and claim the reward. When they see the glow of a fire in the distance, they believe they have struck gold. They switch off their vehicle lights and creep toward the wooden hut from behind. The first officer tries to burst through the door, but a wooden plank swings down and smashes him in the forehead. His partner rushes to help, only to be met by a hard kick from Andre. He tries to fight back, but Andre beats him down with a wooden stick before he can land a single solid hit. Despite overwhelming them so easily, Andre chooses not to kill either of them. Instead, he gathers firewood, forces the two dazed officers to handcuff each other near the campfire, and leaves them sitting there in total confusion. Before walking away, he gives them a calm message: "Tell your colonel to stop chasing me." By the next morning, Colonel Vasilyev discovers that several of his guards have vanished. Without wasting a second, he orders the entire unit to move out. When they reach the wooden hut, they storm in, expecting to find their target. Instead, they find their own men sitting inside with bruised faces. One of them even brags that he almost caught Andre, which is clearly a lie. While rambling, he repeats Andre's message, telling the lieutenant colonel to stop chasing him. Hearing this only fuels Vasilyev's anger, and he slaps the man across the face. To speed up the hunt, he commands his troops to spread out and sweep the forest. The officers struggle through the rough terrain, while Andre glides through it like he belongs there. Suddenly, two policemen trigger a set of bear traps that Andre placed earlier. Before the others can react, Andre hurls his improvised trident straight at them, hitting the mark, then quickly disappears into the trees. The chaos throws the entire unit into panic. They fire wildly, nearly hitting their own men. The chase has barely begun, yet 3 officers are already down. To Andre, they are nothing more than small obstacles. His presence feels like a shadow moving through the forest, striking from every angle. Every time an officer speaks, another trident comes flying, taking them out before they know what hit them. Colonel Vasilyev pushes forward to lead the hunt himself, but it becomes obvious that they are up against a master of guerrilla warfare. The forest is Andre's home, and he vanishes into it with ease. Moments later, he reappears and incapacitates a group of officers guarding an injured comrade. His movements are fast, precise, and completely without hesitation. When more officers arrive, they discover their guns disassembled and Andrei's knife pressed against their throats. He does not kill them. He simply orders them to carry their wounded back to the vehicles and never return. Meanwhile, Vasiliev leads his troops toward a narrow wooden bridge made from 2 logs. One wrong step could send someone plunging into the river below. His deputy criticizes him for not involving the special forces. The remark only angers Vasiliev further, and he forces the deputy to cross first. This is exactly where Andrei has been waiting. Gunshots ring out, but none of them come close to hitting Andrei. The slow-moving deputy becomes the first to fall. This time, Vasiliev tries to outsmart his opponent. If he cannot find Andrei, he will wait for Andrei to come to him. And right on cue, as Andrei sprints through the forest, Vasiliev steps out to block his path. Andrei is ready, trident in hand. They charge at each other, and Vasiliev is badly injured. Cold sweat drips down his face. His life hangs by a thread. He fails to notice that Andrei is already behind him. What follows is a fierce clash. Firearm against blade. Police against a special forces veteran who refuses to fall. In Russia, there is one lesson everyone seems to know. You never want to make a maroon beret paratrooper angry. Colonel Vasiliev learns this the hard way. Even with a kukri pressed against his neck, he refuses to show fear. His pride holds firm. Seeing that stubbornness, Andrei finally drives a punch to his face, knocking him to the ground before walking away and leaving him where he falls. Gasping for air, Vasiliev makes his way down the mountain. Someone is already waiting for him. His frustration spikes the moment he sees a man in dark sunglasses standing there. The man barely speaks, but Vasiliev storms past him. This is Colonel Dmitry from the Defense Intelligence Service, Andrei's own mentor. No one understands Andrei better than he does. He knows that only something extraordinary could push Andrei to lose control like this. Dmitry warns Vasiliev to stop the chase and walk away while he still can. Andrei has already shown mercy by letting them live. If he truly intended to wipe them out, no one would have left that forest alive. But Vasiliev refuses to listen. His pride blinds him. He even drives Dmitry away, as if the colonel is the problem. Moments later, Vasiliev receives word that the helicopter he requested will arrive in 15 minutes. He quickly commands his men to surround the entire area so Andrei has no way out. Then he marches into the forest himself, determined to finish this with his own hands. As the sound of rotor blades fills the air, Andrei is forced to take cover. With the enemy gaining an advantage from above, his only option is to run. Bullets rain down from the helicopter as he sprints toward the edge of a cliff. With no hesitation, he jumps. From above, it looks like Andrei has been hit, but Vasiliev is still not satisfied. He orders the helicopter to sweep the waterline until the fuel is nearly gone. Sometime later, Andrei's body washes onto a shoreline, where an old man named Nikolai finds him. Nikolai brings him home and does what he can to save him. Only then does Andrei discover that Nikolai's granddaughter is Nastya, the same girl he once protected at the police station. Seeing him in such a fragile state fills her with guilt. She believes everything that has happened is her fault. Nikolai removes the bullet from Andrei's body, while Nastya bravely stitches his wound with shaking hands. That night, Andrei tries to leave, hoping to keep Nikolai and Nastya out of any further danger. But Nastya refuses to stay behind. She knows that if Colonel Vasiliev catches her, her story ends there. Andrei is still too weak to keep moving, so the two of them take shelter in a small straw hut until morning. At sunrise, trouble arrives at Nikolai's home. A group of armed fugitives appears without warning. A sniper fires the first shot, killing Nikolai instantly. These men are dangerous criminals already being hunted by the police. The moment Andrei hears the gunfire, he prepares for a fight. He hands a dagger to Nastya, then pretends to be weak as he approaches the group. But Nastya, hiding nearby, is discovered by a blonde man. He acts friendly at first, then his real intentions come out. Nastya fights with everything she has. Cornered and desperate, she drives the dagger into him again and again until he falls lifeless.
Я спрашиваю!
The gentle girl Andrei once saved has now crossed the line to survive. Meanwhile, Andrei takes out one of the guards and rushes toward the barn. He finds Nastya standing there, shaken, her face splattered with blood. There is no time to process it. Another attacker barges in. A brutal fight breaks out, And although the man is larger, he is no match for Andrei's combat skills. Andrei seizes a sickle blade and drives it straight into the man's chest. From that moment on, Andrei stops holding back. He switches into full combat mode, eliminating anyone who threatens them. When police officers and special forces arrive and discover 5 dead criminals, Colonel Vasilyev realizes Andrei survived the fall. He immediately captures Nastya, hoping to lure Andrei out of hiding. What he does not know is that Andrei is already watching him from the shadows. As Vasilyev raises his weapon to shoot her, Nastya pushes him off balance, buying just enough time for Andrei to disappear into the forest. Right then, Major General Sedov arrives and scolds Vasilyev for his reckless behavior, giving Nastya a chance to escape torment. Sedov's superiors issue a new command: capture Andrei alive. The chase begins again, leading Andrei into an abandoned building. Exhausted, he considers surrendering, but the officers attack him with electric weapons. Forced to defend himself, he drops the Special Forces fighters one by one in just seconds. Even their commander loses his grenade in the struggle, and Andrei casually throws it back, creating a massive explosion. Still, he refuses to kill innocent men. When Sedov falls into the water, Andrei pulls him out and saves him before escaping through a drainage pipe. But Colonel Vasilyev is waiting at the exit. His men surround the area, yet none of their shots come close to hitting Andrei. He jumps into a wooden house, and another fight erupts inside. Although bullets tear into the walls, the structure somehow remains standing long enough to shield him. Enraged, Vasilyev fires a rocket into the house and sets it ablaze. He is convinced that Andrei is dead, unaware that Andrei has already slipped into the basement. At the same time, General Orlov visits Sedov at the hospital. Nastya rushes into the room and finally tells her side of the story. From her account, Orlov begins to understand the full picture of what has been happening. Meanwhile, back at the station, Colonel Vasilyev returns to his office and finds Colonel Dmitri already waiting for him. Dmitri is not there by accident. He is waiting for Andrei too, knowing that sooner or later Andrei will come back for his MP3 player. He stays close to Vasilyev because he believes that is the only way to intercept Andrei safely. He even suggests that Vasilyev should drink more brandy, finishing the whole bottle if needed, so he will not panic when Andrei eventually walks through the door. Not far from there, the police uncover a hidden tunnel. The moment they step down the stairs, a gun is pointed directly at their faces, and Andrei emerges wearing a police uniform. He walks calmly toward a parked car, takes the driver's phone, and knocks him out as soon as he steps outside. 2 officers try to stop him, but he drops them with ease and steals the vehicle. Elsewhere in the building, a guard eating noodles in front of the television jumps out of his seat when the door is suddenly kicked open. Andrei has found Colonel Vasilyev. By now, special forces have surrounded the location. Dmitri enters the house and warns Andrei that an entire unit is stationed outside. Everything is there except a tank. He tries to talk Andrei down and convince him to return to Moscow, but Andrei refuses. He is furious. He cannot stand watching innocent people strangled slowly under corrupt authority. To him, this is what the people of that town endure every day. They are not weak and they are not livestock. They deserve a chance to stand on their own. And if they do not fight back, then the sacrifices of his fallen comrades mean nothing. Then comes the surprising twist. Instead of finishing Vasilyev, Andrei lets him go. Vasilyev sits quietly inside the house, preparing himself for the special forces outside. At that moment, General Orlov arrives and orders every soldier to pull back. But before they can arrest Vasilyev, he suddenly grabs Nastya and takes her hostage. He boasts proudly about everything he has done for the town, clinging to the illusion of his own importance. As smoke fills the room, Andrei reappears. This time he unleashes every ounce of anger he has left. Vasilyev finally breaks. He releases Nastya and surrenders. He understands that killing her or anyone else will not save him. He is trapped, and there is no escape. He is taken into custody, while Nastya finally breathes in relief, knowing Andrei survived. From that moment on, the small town returns to peace. Under orders from their superiors, Andrei and Colonel Dmitri prepare to head back to Moscow. Nastya, who has quietly fallen in love with Andrei, can only watch as the car carrying him slowly disappears down the road, taking him away from her life once more. So the moral of the story is if a quiet guy loves his MP3 player, carries a kukri, and stares like he has seen every horror on earth, maybe do not bully him, chase him into the mountains, or touch his crush unless you are ready for free survival lessons.